This line of watches came out just a few days ago, and it really caught my attention. What got me interested was the way this tracks 3 time zones. Many GMT watches do this. They do this with a GMT hand that makes a full rotation every 24 hours. But that's not how this works. This is weird. There are 4 references of this new Timex Q 3 time zone chronograph. Only the black one comes on a bracelet, and I assume the bracelet is not great. Plus, I like the white dial. I like white dial watches, and this one reminds me of my Rolex Explorer 2. This is 40 millimeters across, 46 millimeters long, and 11.5 millimeters thick. It has 18 millimeter lugs, which are hidden behind the case. It's water resistant to 50 meters, and if you couldn't tell already, it uses a quartz movement. That's why it's only $219 on this rubber strap. Okay, so how do it work? You have the main time and what looks like a red GMT hand, but it ain't. This red hand is actually on a 12-hour scale, just like the main hour hand. Usually that means you lose context. You can't tell if it's AM or PM in that second time zone you're tracking. Well, that's what the register at 12 o'clock is for. It's actually a 24-hour reading of the second time zone. The red hand and the 24-hour subdial time are linked. Here's what I mean. It's 7:10 here in Portland, Oregon. That means it's 3:10 a.m. in London, which is what both the red hand and the top subdial are showing. I like that I can quickly glance at the red hand and know the hour in London with a 12-hour reading. And if I'm unsure which 3 o'clock that is, I can just look at the subdial and know that that's AM in this case. The watch is set a lot like a flyer or traveler style GMT watch. The local hour hand jumps. And in that same crown position, turning the crown in the opposite direction sets the date. Another crown position sets the minutes and the second time zone hand. And the 24-hour subdial too, and the date. Actually, you can set the date by adjusting the date alone, by adjusting the local hour hand, or by adjusting the red hour hand. That's pretty quirky. And you can also use the bezel to track a third time zone by rotating it to the right offset. So I've got this one set to show the time in Melbourne, Australia. For this third time zone, you kind of have to remember if it's AM or PM. But for me, it's Australia, so it doesn't really matter anyway, does it, mate? Oh, and there's also a chronograph. I kind of wish it wasn't there, but it looks cool. And so does the lume. It's pretty bright. Much brighter on the hands than on the markers. And that's the quirky Timex Q 3 time zone chronograph. It could make a really good travel watch for those of us who don't want to take our more expensive and more delicate and less accurate watches with us when we leave the house, which I hope I never have to do.